Welcome to the No Show. Today I'll be interviewing my friend Congressman Kevin Mullin. Kevin is a U.S. representative of California's 15th Congressional District. When Kevin is not in Washington, D.C., he is home in South San Francisco with his wife and children. Let's get the show on the road, everyone. This book is just an amazing book that anybody can use. It's on Amazon. I recommend this wholeheartedly. The impact they cause physiologically on the individual going through the cycles. Recovery from narcissistic abuse, gaslighting, codependency, and complex PTSD. How to break the cycle and start recovery. This workbook and guide will help you change your mindset so that you can set yourself free from mental prison and live a fulfilling life. And if you're going through anybody who's narcissistic, anybody who is going through gaslighting right now, I recommend this book. It's on Amazon, so get it. If you want to recover from your childhood, from people and that are toxic in your life, go grab this book. It's really powerful, and I'm reading it right now. Go get this book and start recovering. Hi everyone, I'm interviewing a good friend and an amazing person overall, Kevin Mullin. So I want to give you this first question that might help us a little bit more. Do you feel any pressure to represent California and Washington as you follow the footsteps of Congresswoman Jackie Speier, who left a legacy for women?
Well, first of all, Nicole, thank you so much for the opportunity. It is wonderful to see you. I was thrilled to hear that you have a podcast. People need to hear your voice, and thrilled that you're doing it, and honored to be a guest. And yes, absolutely. I feel, well, lots of pressure, I guess, succeeding somebody with the stature of Jackie Speier. It is a great honor, however, to represent this district, this 15th congressional district. For those watching who are not familiar with this newly configured district, it includes the southeastern portion of San Francisco and much of the San Francisco Peninsula on the bay side, all the way down to East Palo Alto. When the Citizens Redistricting Commission redrew the districts, they created a coastal district, Pacifica and Half Moon Bay. That's part of Anna Eshoo, Congresswoman Anna Eshoo's district now. So I have Nancy Pelosi to the north and Anna Eshoo to the south, both of whom are titans and icons in their own right. And then I'm succeeding Jackie, who, as we know, really holds iconic status especially in San Mateo County. So I feel the weight of that, and those are huge shoes to fill. But I think I was bolstered most certainly by the fact that Jackie endorsed me as her successor, because she's known me for, I was doing the math, I think just about 30 years, if you could believe that. I started working for her when she was an assemblywoman in the South San Francisco district office when she was in the state assembly. So we've known each other for a very long time, and she's seen me work over the years at different levels of government, local and state government. I was state government for 10 years. So I have her full support, which was helpful in this building. And that's where I am. I'm at the U.S. Capitol in my office here. And when people heard that she had endorsed me as her successor, that opened many doors here on Capitol Hill, let's put it that way. And it's been wonderful to have her as a mentor and as somebody who has taught me a lot over the years. But there's an expectation that a standard of service that she has set, especially locally in San Mateo County. So we have a very high bar, shall we say. in terms of constituent services and being the eyes and ears out there in the community and trying to address our constituents' needs. But all of that has really come from the training that I first got from Jackie's office doing the constituent work. That's how I started my political career. So I'm hoping to meet that standard, but yeah, definitely big shoes and lots of expectations, shall we say.
I can feel you. What do you enjoy about being a resident of San Mateo County and representing the Bay Area?
Well, I got to tell you, I absolutely love the Bay Area. One of the challenges is as exciting and as interesting as the work is here on Capitol Hill, I do miss the Bay Area when I fly back here because of the natural beauty, the physical beauty of the San Francisco Bay Area, the climate in the Bay Area. I have to tell you, having lived through summer here in Washington, D.C. for the first time, I miss the Bay Area when I'm not there. But it's a wonderful place to live. It's a wonderful place to raise children. I've got two 5-year-old twin boys. My wife and I live in South San Francisco. And it is an incredible district to represent with its natural beauty, physical beauty, but also if you look at what's going on in my district, I am definitely going to be a little bit of a cheerleader for my 15th congressional district, but it's got the airport, which is this economic engine. We've got the life sciences industry, over 600 companies, some incredible science and research and development is happening right in the middle of my district. We've got tech companies, we've got small businesses up and down the peninsula that are dynamic and thriving. We certainly have our share of challenges with affordability. Affordable housing continues to be a challenge. And with the pandemic, our transportation agencies took a hit in terms of ridership. There are some real challenges, public policy challenges that still exist, of course, that we all have to work on. But we're also doing some incredibly innovative things in San Mateo County that I'm proud to tout, if you will, when I'm back here working with my colleagues and I get to tell them all the exciting things happening on the San Francisco Peninsula. But it's just an incredible honor to represent such a beautiful, dynamic area like the San Francisco Peninsula.
It's nice to see you around that community as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you were recently elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in November 2020 and took office in January. That's amazing. What do you like about the new role as federal public official, and how is it different from when you served as a state assembly member?
Yeah, so the job certainly has similarities to what I had been doing for the last 10 years, serving in the state assembly. The biggest difference is that I was the Speaker pro tem in the California State Assembly. I was the number 2 officer. So I was in the leadership of that house. And so I had a seat at the leadership table, and we had a supermajority of Democrats. I'm a Democrat. And in Washington, D.C., we're in the minority party. The House is very evenly divided, but the Republicans have a 5-seat majority. So we are in the minority party. And that experience alone has been an adjustment for me. But that being said, you have a broader set of issues that you can impact at the federal level than the state level. There are huge, weighty challenges that this House of Representatives has to deal with. So I feel the magnitude of the role, and I think the opportunity absolutely exists to do some very exciting things over time in this new job. So, but truth be told, I'm still learning this job, even though I've been in public life in one way or the other for over 30 years, like I suggested. It's still a new job. And like any new job, there's a learning curve that's associated with that. So learning about how this place works and learning about issues that I hadn't previously dealt with in the California State Assembly that I'm now dealing with and having to vote on at the federal level. So it's a challenging new job, but it's exciting nonetheless.
As you know, the human rights of people who identify as part of the LGBTQ, like I am. and transgender communities have been under attack, and many national organizations have raised a flag calling the LGBTQA emergency. Are the effects being made at the federal government level to help protect the freedom of our freedom and rights?
Yeah, so this has been frankly disheartening to see our Republican colleagues push what is essentially a culture war. There's lots of fear mongering. I think they have done the calculation that somehow attacking transgender individuals, transgender youth in particular, somehow is some kind of a winning political issue. I think they're absolutely wrong about that. And of course, they're wrong to pursue this culture war. There have been a number of measures that have come through the floor that I have voted against. In particular, there was one, House Resolution 5, that would have required teachers and administrative staff to out transgender students to their parents, which, as we know, would potentially put transgender children in danger if their parents weren't supportive of them. So I was proud to vote no on that. I was also in the affirmative. I was a co-sponsor of something called the Therapeutic Fraud Prevention Act to ban so-called conversion therapy. And I believe we need to pass something that we call the Equality Act to ban discrimination based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and sex characteristics. So essentially, you've got two parties here with two totally different approaches to this issue. And I am going to do whatever I can to stand up for the LGBTQIA plus community and stand up for transgender children in particular who are under attack by my Republican colleagues. So it's just the latest sort of wedge issue being attempted by my Republican colleagues. I'm sad that they have resorted to that. But I'm also heartened by the fact that I've got a number of colleagues here who will stand up and be vocal and be defenders of human rights and the rights of the community. So I appreciate the question. What I fear is you're going to continue to see these kinds of attacks, but I'm proud to stand with my colleagues and stand for freedom and protection when it comes to these difficult issues.
It's definitely because I feel like this is why I have the no show, because it'll be more like queer representative for me, because I'm gay myself. My ultimate passion is to fight for LGBTQ and have freedom for the rest of our lives. That's what I want.
That's
so
right.
I'm happy about that if we can do something together at some point.
Yeah, look, I would love to partner with you in whatever way you see fit to draw the proper kinds of attention to these issues. And I'd love to be able to not just knock down these measures that come forward, but do something in the affirmative as I get my footing here and learn the way this place works back here. I would love to partner with you in that.
There's one last question. Are you ready for the last question?
Sure.
We are headed into a political election year, and you recently made a statement in support of passing the Freedom of Vote Act. Can you tell me more about the importance of all of these bills and how it could impact the upcoming election? Will it make voting more accessible for people with disabilities?
Yes, well, thank you for the question, Nicole. So I would say the primary reason I ran for the House of Representatives was to protect our democracy. What I saw was not only the insurrection and what all of the events leading up to and on January 6th, election denialism, essentially from the very top of the opposing party, the opposition party, attacks on our democracy in states across the country. Voting rights are being undermined. In mostly red states, if you will, Republican legislatures at the state level undermining voting rights, making it harder to vote, taking away vote by mail opportunities, removing early voting mailboxes, you name it. there were attempts to undermine voting rights. So it's really the primary motivator. I really think there's a generational battle underway between democracy and what are some autocratic approaches to the way we run our government. And I'm on something called the Task Force on Strengthening Democracy, which is not a formal committee, but it's a group of individuals in the Democratic Party and the House of Representatives who care deeply about preserving our democracy and protecting and defending our democracy. So one of the key measures is the Freedom to Vote Act. It would do a lot of the things that we're already doing in California at the state level. We worked very hard to establish all vote by mail elections. San Mateo County has been a leader in this regard. We had a pilot program. I enacted legislation that created a first of its kind all mailed ballot election for a municipal election, and that showed that when you get a ballot postage paid to every registered voter, turnout goes up. You have more Latino participation, API participation in terms of voter participation. You have a electorate that looks much more like the population as a whole, which is good for democracy. So we're doing a lot of things in California already, but I want to make sure that we are advocating for those things at the national level. So in terms of individuals with disabilities, the move toward vote by mail, I think, is going to help in that regard. People have the freedom to vote from the comfort of their home or their office. I know our local San Mateo County elections office, for example, is very focused on making elections accessible. They have folks on their staff who can work with those members of the disabled community to make sure that you are able to, with comfort and ease, exercise the franchise to vote. My hope, though, is that there are protections at the federal level. So those movements to try to make voting more accessible are seen throughout the country and not just in select blue states. This should not be a partisan issue. We should make it easy to vote, accessible to exercise the franchise. And I'm just proud of our work in California to do just that. But we need to do more at the federal level. And the Freedom to Vote Act is one piece of it. But there's lots of other work to be done to make sure that we are protecting voting rights and not undermining and making it harder to vote, which is unfortunately what some folks are doing at the state level in other states across the country.
Okay, I know you're a busy man and everything, but can we have a little bit of fun with you before you leave?
Sure.
If you aren't doing the career you have now, what other career would you do?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I wanted to be a journalist way back in my USF days. I ran the radio station on campus and studied media, studied communications. I really wanted to be a reporter and a journalist. Somewhere along the way, I got diverted. So the journalism thing wasn't in the cards. So if I wasn't a politician, I think I'd probably be working in the media. And who knows, maybe someday when I retire, I'll be a political commentator or something on your local news.
What is the best advice that someone has given you?
You don't want to burn bridges. This is a relationships business that we are in the political world. And there are shifting alliances from time to time. You want to keep an open door and keep an open mind to some degree about the potential to work with people, even if you disagree with them on most issues. There may be an issue where there's some alignment. You have to be able to get along with people and work with people and develop a set of people skills. So I would say those nuggets of advice were important to me as I started my political career.
Who has influenced your life?
My parents, obviously, my family, my parents. My father was a government teacher. And I think there's no doubt that growing up, the son of a government teacher, civics teacher, somebody who when I was like 7 and 8, was on the planning commission in South San Francisco. Growing up in that household most certainly led me to where I am today, where civic participation, voting, being an engaged citizen was just sort of what you did. It was part of your DNA. So that most certainly, and of course, in the professional realm, Jackie has been an incredible supporter and mentor. I've been very, very lucky. I've been very, very fortunate to have people who have been mentors and supporters and have helped guide me. Not everybody has those opportunities, and I've been very, very fortunate in that regard.
What is something that nobody knows about you?
Wow, Nicole, you're throwing some curveballs at me. What is something that people don't know about me? Well, some people do know this, but not everybody, and people are still surprised. So I used to be a mobile DJ. I did have the nickname Cutmaster Kevy Kev. It was a great time in my life where I was running a small business with a buddy of mine in high school and into college. We had a mobile music DJ service called Sound Dimension. Some people have a hard time imagining that, Congressman is a former DJ, but I have the photo evidence I could show you sometime.
That'd be cool. Since this is the no-no show, I would like to ask you, what is a big no-no in our modern society?
I spend way too much time on my phone, and I just think it's really become like an extension of our hand in some ways, and probably not great for your mental health. Where you're comparing yourself to other people on social media, that's kind of a big deal. But the sort of lack of regular conversation and sort of the isolation when somebody is like using their phone too much. So I will say I'm not only guilty of that, but it is also a pet peeve of mine. So I'm consciously trying to not pick up my phone as much as I have. But I got to tell you, in this job, in this line of work, a lot of information comes through the phone, through text. It's like a constant text stream of information. But you have to somehow unplug a little bit and turn the phone off and clear your head and get outside if you can.
Yeah, I try not to use my phone if I don't want to. And that's what I try to do. And overnight, I don't use my phone from 11 to 10:30 in the morning, from 11 p.m. until 10:30. So I can actually try to go to sleep.
Good for you. I wish I could do that. I'm trying.
Yeah. I'm really happy that you're here, and I really appreciate your time a lot. So I'm grateful that you're here.
Hey, Nicole, it's wonderful to see you, and look forward to working with you in the future, and love being a guest, and we'll do it anytime you want.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin.
All right. Take care.
Thank you so much.
One person who was a big influence in my life is Oprah Winfrey. She is the first African American female host of a national daily talk show in the 80s called The Oprah Winfrey Show. It ran for 25 years, and it ended in 2011. She also bought a production company and called it Harpo. Oprah saw the show in several different broadcasting organizations. The show was on 212 stations across the United States and in more than 100 countries worldwide.
Every single day I came down from my makeup room on our Harpo elevator, I would offer a prayer of gratitude for the delight and the privilege of doing this show.
Now she does interviews with popular figures such as Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Oprah covered taboo topics which she was not afraid to talk about, such as race, which was not the case with other talk shows. It inspired me to do the same.
I think that it's great that, someone like Oprah, who's successful, has to pave the way for acceptance in the community. I mean, if this is what we have to do to break down barriers, then let's do it.
One of Oprah's most popular segments on the talk show was the Oprah Winfrey's Book Club. It was the first platform for authors to have their books be chosen and reviewed for national television. This segment has popularized many authors to be on the top of bestseller lists, including Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison.
When I called her up to tell her about the book club and that I was choosing this book and that I had been so engaged in this story, her reaction and her story about how she came to write the book just was more than I could have imagined. So wait till you hear that story. It's such a great story.
Oprah Winfrey is a well-known figure and a big influence on everyone's lives. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention?
Transgender people in the U.S. are being attacked and discriminated against. A historic number of anti-LGBTQ plus A community and anti-transgender bills targeting youth and adults have been introduced this year. More than 400 bills so far from 2021 to 2022. Hate crimes against gay, transgender people hit a record high for the second year in a row. This is outrageous. I just don't understand it. What is so wrong about people being themselves or being different? Why is there so much hate and judgment in today's modern world? Our uniqueness is what makes the world a beautiful place. Don't we all have bigger things to worry about, like children being gunned down in their schools, genocides, war, starvation, suicide, homelessness, poverty, wage inequality? Everyone deserves the right to live their lives. Everyone deserves the right to be free, once and for all, no matter what someone's gender, sexuality, race, religious beliefs. Everyone should have the freedom and the opportunity to live a fulfilling and meaningful life without living in fear. The transgender community is beautiful, strong, and the most resilient in the LGBTQA plus community. The Human Rights Campaign is working with advocates nationwide to make an impact. Together we can combat stigma and to help end transgender violence for good. So please take action. Visit the Human Rights Campaign website at hrc.org and sign the Count Me In petition. You can sign the pledge, connect your legislator, learn more about the facts, and spread the word on social media. Together we can build a love revolution to conquer hate. Thank you.